Rebecca Farley is a CF mom who is coming up to stage, Rebecca, to share her story. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight. Thank you especially to all of our honorees for sharing their time and their skills to raise funds and awareness for cystic fibrosis. Earlier this summer, I was honored to join in the celebration of the beginning of the journey for these committed young professionals who have taken up the challenge to become ambassadors for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation these past many months, and I'm proud to be celebrating with them tonight. So, yeah, my name is Rebecca, and my husband, Craig Farley, and I, we just celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary last Friday. Thank you. We have two beautiful children together. Craig Jr., he's 7. He's in the first grade at Union Terrace Elementary, and he started karate and piano lessons. And then Madeline there, she's 3. She just started a new preschool and dance lessons, and she likes to boss us around on a regular basis. Most of the time she gets away with it. One of the themes of our 10 years of marriage and 14 years together is my husband's reciting some version of his annoying, optimistic slogan that if you look for the good, you'll be sure to find it. But if you look for the bad, you'll find even more. Now, I'm not a pessimist, but I do tend to troubleshoot and look out for possible problems with various scenarios. And, well, after our daughter was born, this reached a whole new level from what we had ever imagined. When Craig and I were daydreaming about our second child, our little Spitfire Madeline, we thought our biggest problems were going to be balancing the familiar challenges of caring for a newborn while being mindful of keeping her smart, sweet 3-year-old brother happy. There would be laundry overflowing, peanut butter smeared everywhere, but we were resigned to the fact that for a few years, everything in the house was just going to be sticky, but doggone it, we would be so happy. And I hadn't heard of cystic fibrosis, or so I thought, until Madeline was 1 week old. It was Craig's first day back to work, which meant I was alone with 2 tiny humans for the first time by myself, and working hard to keep my troubleshooting perspective very positive. It was around 6 o'clock in the evening when I received a phone call from the pediatrician, which struck me as rather odd. He informed me that Madeline's newborn screen had tested positive for a marker associated with cystic fibrosis, and we would need to take her to a specialist to have more testing. When he asked me if I was familiar with CF, I was immediately transported back to being 7 years old in my childhood home, watching a made-for-TV movie starring Craig T. Nelson. Remember Coach? Yeah, that guy. Anyway, this was the story of the NPR sports guy, Frank DeFord, and his little girl, and their family's life with her cystic fibrosis. So in the scene that immediately comes to my mind, she's crying, and Dad's doing the treatment that I now know is called chest percussive therapy. He's clapping and thumping his hands against her back and her sides and chest to loosen her mucus, all the while singing "The Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round," and all the while the little girl's just crying and crying. And then the movie ends with her passing away, and it was one of the first times as a person that I was able to grasp the finality and the strong emotions of love and death. And so this is the memory that's flooding back to me as the doctor is asking me if I'm familiar with CF, and my head is just spinning. And then later that evening, my husband tells me he graduated from Allen High School in 1989 with a girl named Jenny Entler, who also passed of CF just a week before she began college. So after a bunch of uncomfortable sweat tests, finally it was confirmed with a blood draw and genetic testing that Madeline has cystic fibrosis. Her deletions are delta F508 and 5T. This just got real. At 3 months old, she needed to begin taking enzymes before she eats to help her digest her food. I asked the doctor, how long would this be needed? A week, maybe 2? And he reservedly said, well, forever. I proudly say that she now swallows these like a champ, and it's just part of her every day, like 20 pills every day. When she was 1, after several nasty infections that left her coughing for weeks at a time, we had to start with nebulizers and airway clearance twice a day. So this means that now you need to constrain your baby in a vest, like imagine a life preserver, and then it fills up with air from a pump that pulsates her and shakes her for 14 times a second for 20 minutes, loudly. Like a piece of farm machinery in our living room. Yeah, try to get a 1-year-old to do that twice a day. Oh, and then force her to breathe in a bunch of funny-looking air from a mask held over her face for 15 minutes. Well, before and after, you have to take 6 puffs from another mask connected to another inhaler. So all in all, my precious baby girl is forced to spend 1 out of every 12 hours a day. And of course, that's equivalent to 1 month out of every year for all of you math buffs out there. 1 month out of every year strapped to machines and inhalation devices just to keep her healthy so that she can continue to breathe. Breathe. Most of us take it for granted. Without even thinking about it, it comes so naturally to us. Most of us take that extra month every year for granted too. And so this, to me, is the essence of this stupid disease. It steals time. Cystic fibrosis steals time. Not just that it's a terminal, life-shortening disease that steals lives. We do our best to not even think about that. But every day, it steals those 2 hours and more. Time for many doctor visits, lots of tests. Quality time that could be spent at the playground is spent holding a screaming baby during blood draws and sweat tests, trying to show her what bravery looks like, while a little piece of you dies inside. Time that you would love to have to yourself is spent meeting new doctors, specialists who poke and prod and examine her and swab her throat to see what fun new culture she'll grow. Time struggling to beat back fear. The fear of our daughter contracting certain bacteria that are common in the progression of CF, which can live inside her lungs with all of that extra mucus and thrive and make her sicker and struggle to breathe. That fear in my heart is a never-ending, gut-wrenching burn. And it takes up a lot of my time. Time worrying at whether you're doing it right. How do you not let your little child enjoy life because you're afraid it could harm them? If you force them to live in a bubble, how is that life? And so, somehow, in so many ways, you just have to adjust. And this is our struggle every day. You miss the birthday party because she needs to get a treatment done. You decline the evening out with friends because how do you expect a babysitter to be a part-time respiratory therapist? Before you make any plans, you, as a family, make sure that she won't miss her airway clearance. You do your best, and you pray for all of the people who go to work every day, the people who understand what the heck the deletions of delta 508 and 5T actually are, and what they do to my baby girl. These are the people that we pray for every day, working toward another breakthrough that will open doors for new treatments. And then we thank God for people like our honorees here tonight who have worked toward this cause. And then I thank God for every one of you listening to me tonight for whatever reason and through whatever network you are connected to a wonderful group of people in the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. And this room full of fabulous people give me such hope. Thank you for being here and for taking part in your own way in this effort to find a cure for our daughter and everyone who lives with CF. And if I may, I would like to invite you to imagine someone you love and care for. The cute little kid next door, your favorite niece or nephew, your younger sibling, son or daughter. Someone that you would do just about anything for. Imagine them losing out on all of that precious time every year and how angry and frustrated it would make you, because it makes me absolutely furious. We are truly blessed to have all of you on board tonight in this effort to raise money for research toward a cure, toward longer lives for these patients, toward getting back that lost month per year. CF has changed our lives in so many ways. So many new fears and frustrations. But also every day it has shown us how kind and generous people are. Thank you for being one of those